My wife's harmless family tradition cost us our entire life savings, and I'm the villain for being angry. I need to start from the very beginning to lay the foundation brick by painful brick, because if I just jump to the moment my world shattered, to the cold, pixelated words, insufficient funds, glaring from my laptop screen, you'll never understand the depth of the betrayal. You'll think I'm just another angry man yelling about money. It was never just about the money. It was about the blueprint of a future we drew together, a future that was meticulously planned, saved for, and dreamed of, only to be erased in a single act of what she called faith and I call financial insanity. My name is Marcus Thorne. I'm a 41-year-old architect. My life is built on principles of structure, integrity, and foresight. A building without a blueprint is a fantasy. A life without a plan is chaos. I design spaces that are meant to last, to provide shelter and safety for generations. I find profound, quiet beauty in the grain of a load-bearing beam, the perfect pitch of a roof designed to withstand 100-year storm, the elegant efficiency of a well-planned floor plan. My wife, Lena, was the beautiful, unpredictable counterpoint to my structured existence. Lena Selam, a freelance artist who paints with colors I didn't even know had names. She sees the world not as a series of lines and angles, but as a swirling, emotional tapestry of light and energy. For 8 years, our marriage was a perfect, if unlikely, synthesis. I was the foundation. She was a soaring, glass-walled atrium filled with light and life. I grounded her flightier tendencies. She pulled me out of my rigid draftsman's world and taught me to appreciate a sunset just for its beauty, not for how its light might fall on a proposed building's facade. Our shared dream, the North Star of our entire relationship, was a house, not just any house. It was to be our masterpiece, my magnum opus of design, and our ultimate creative sanctuary. We'd found the perfect plot 5 years ago on a scouting trip to the Oregon coast, a rugged 2-acre cliffside parcel near Cannon Beach, surrounded by ancient Sitka spruces, with heart-stopping, uninterrupted views of the Pacific Ocean. It was wild, powerful, and utterly private. We'd sat on a log, watching the waves crash below, and she'd sketched the silhouette of a house in her notebook, low, modern, organic, seeming to grow out of the cliff itself. That sketch became my obsession. For a decade, every financial decision we made was filtered through the lens of the Oregon Fund. We drove cars with over 200,000 miles on them. We learned to become expert home chefs because restaurants were a luxury reserved for birthdays. Our vacations were camping trips. When my firm landed a major corporate contract, my bonus didn't buy a new watch. It bought a foundation. When Lena sold a large painting to a gallery in Santa Fe, we celebrated with a bottle of Prosecco on our apartment's balcony, and the rest of the money silently flowed into the fund. It was a sacred pact, a shared sacrifice that felt romantic in its austerity. Every skip latte was a brick in our future home. We'd lie in bed at night and talk about the details, the reclaimed barnwood for the accent wall, the Japanese soaking tub overlooking the ocean, the skylight over our bed for stargazing. The fund wasn't just money. It was a physical manifestation of our love and our patience, digitized, compounded over 10 long years. The money resided in a high-yield joint savings account. We had a rule, established in a moment of pragmatic newlywed planning, that any transfer over $5,000 required dual authorization. It was a safety net, a way to ensure we were both always on the same page for our big goals. I'd forgotten about that rule. It had never been an issue. Then, 3 months ago, Lena left for her annual family reunion in Sedona, Arizona. The Selam family is a force of nature I was never fully equipped to handle. Where my family gatherings are quiet affairs centered around a well-seasoned roast and discussions of current events, the Selam reunions are week-long festivals of spiritual fervor. Her mother, Serafina, is a high priestess of this circus. a woman in her late 60s who has never held a conventional job. She sustains herself on a vague inheritance, the sale of her channeled watercolor paintings and the gravitational pull of her powerful personality. She wears flowing silks, smells perpetually of patchouli and sage, and speaks in a languid, oracular tone that implies she's privy to secrets of the universe the rest of us are too dense to comprehend. Then there's Aries, Lena's younger brother by 5 years, the golden child, the perpetual seeker, the beautiful, charismatic black hole of need and failure. His life is a CV of abandoned ventures, a failed acting career in L.A. The vibes were all wrong. A brief stint as a vegan chef, the customers weren't spiritually aligned. A Reiki master certification he used for a month. Each new calling was announced with the fervent certainty of a prophet, funded by his mother or a gullible relative, and abandoned when it required actual, sustained work. He is a master of the language of self-help and empowerment, which he uses as a shield against any accusation of laziness or incompetence. I found him charming in small, infrequent doses, but Lena adored him. She saw his flightiness as a beautiful, free spirit struggling to find its true place in the world. The family tradition Lena had occasionally mentioned was the tithe of trust. It was presented as this beautiful, ancient, and sacred practice where the family would collectively pool their resources to support one member's cosmically ordained path. It was never a small amount, and the reasons were always nebulous. One year, it funded her cousin's sudden decision to become a sound healer in Costa Rica. Another year, it bailed her uncle out of debt after he invested his life savings in a doomed scheme to mine and sell energetically charged desert sand. I saw it for what it was, a wealth destruction mechanism that rewarded the most irresponsible member of the family and guilt the responsible ones into compliance. But it was their tradition, their money. I gnawed politely when it was discussed, privately thanking my lucky stars that our finances were separate from this madness. I was an outsider. It didn't apply to me, or so I thought. Lena called me on the third night of her trip. Her voice was breathless, giddy, crackling with an energy that immediately set off alarm bells in my pragmatic soul. Marcus, baby, oh my God, you're not going to believe the synchronicity that's happening out here. I was at my desk, literally reviewing the final soil compaction report for the Oregon property. We were days, mere days, from making an official offer. Hey, sweetheart. Good to hear your voice. What's up? It's Aries, she said, and my stomach clenched involuntarily. He's had a breakthrough. A real, genuine, divine awakening. It's incredible to witness. I forced my voice to remain neutral. Oh, yeah? What's he awakened to this time? Don't say it like that, she chided, though she was still too excited to be truly annoyed. This is different. He was meditating at the Cathedral Rock Vortex at dawn, and he had a vision, a whole, fully formed vision. He's going to create a wellness retreat center, a place for true healing and spiritual transformation. He's calling it the Sacred Soul Sanctuary. Isn't that perfect? The dread was a cold, lead weight in my gut. A retreat center. That sounds ambitious. Has he ever run a business before? Managed staff? Handled permits? That's a huge undertaking. That's the magic of it, Marcus. The universe wouldn't have given him the vision without also providing the path. The family is fully behind him. We did a group channeling session last night, and the messages were so clear. This is his destiny. This is how he's meant to serve the world. I put down the soil report. Lena, focus with me. What does fully behind him mean? It means we're supporting him. Aunt Luna is donating that parcel land she owns near Boynton Canyon. Uncle Sol is handling all the incorporation and legal stuff pro bono. And the rest of us, we're funding it. We're doing a tithe of trust. The biggest one ever. The room felt airless. A tithe of trust. Lena, look at me. Are you telling me you've agreed to give our money to this vision? Her tone cooled several degrees. It's not just our money in some possessive sense, Marcus. Money is energy, and energy needs a flow. This is an investment in family, in a higher purpose. This is what the tithe is for, to show absolute trust that the universe will provide. The universe doesn't provide building permits. Lena, Aries does not have a track record that inspires confidence. This is a massive risk. Life is a risk, she shot back, her defensiveness now fully engaged. Storing all your energy away in a bank account is a different kind of risk. The risk of never truly living. This is faith, Marcus. Something you've never really understood. How much, Lena? My voice was low, deadly calm. It was a calm before the utter ruin of everything. Don't do this. Don't reduce this to a number. How much? She was silent for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was small, but held a stubborn, unshakable conviction. We all gave what we could. I gave what was needed. Lena Selim, you tell me the number right now. She told me. The number she uttered wasn't just a figure. It was the square footage of our house. It was the number of cedar shingles for the siding. It was the linear feet of copper piping and the kilowatt capacity of the solar panel array. It was the exact amount to the dollar of the Oregon Fund. A decade of sacrifice condensed into a single, monstrously stupid transaction. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. The phone slipped from my sweat-slicked hand and clattered onto my desk. I heard her faint, tinny voice calling, Marcus? Marcus, from the speaker. I fumbled for the phone, my vision tunneling. You gave him all of it? Everything. It's not giving it to him. It's investing in the family's future. His success will be our success. The psychic said this venture will bring abundance back to everyone involved tenfold. This is how it works. A psychic? The scream was torn from a place deep inside me I didn't know existed. You wiped out our life, savings based on the advice of a fraud in a tent? Have you lost your entire mind? You're being toxic, she yelled back, now crying. You're poisoning this beautiful moment with your negativity and your fear. This is why I didn't discuss it with you first. I knew you'd react like this. You're so trapped in your material world. You can't see the miracle happening right in front of you. Discuss it? Lena, you didn't discuss it. You committed grand larceny. You stole from me. From U.S. It's not stealing. It's a tithe. It's a sacred act. You knew about this tradition. You just never respected it. You've never respected my family or anything we believe in. You've always thought you were better than us, with your blueprints and your spreadsheets. The argument spiraled into a black hole of pain and fury. I called her a gullible fool, a puppet for her family's madness. She called me a heartless, spiritually bankrupt miser, a prison warden of the soul. I told her to get the money back. Now, immediately. I can't, she sobbed. It's done. The wire transfer cleared yesterday. Aries has already put a non-refundable deposit down on the most beautiful, handcrafted Mongolian yurts. They're being shipped next week. Yurts. Our future house had been traded for yurts. I hung up on her. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely type. I logged into our bank's website, a frantic, desperate prayer looping in my mind. Please be a mistake. Please be a nightmare. Please let her be lying to hurt me. The login was slow. The page loaded. Our joint savings account summary appeared. Balance, $47.82. A single line item below it. Wire transfer to Sacred Soul Sanctuary, LLC. The full amount. I vomited into the small trash next to my desk. The next 24 hours were a blur of rage and desperation. I called the bank, pleading, explaining it was a mistake, A fraud. The polite, useless customer service representative confirmed the transfer was legitimate and authorized by both account holders. She reminded me of the security rule we ourselves had set up. Lena had approved it from her phone in Sedona. There was nothing they could do. I booked the next available flight to Phoenix, drove a rental car like a madman through the desert. The stunning red rock formations, a mocking, grotesque backdrop to my internal collapse. I pulled up to Serafina's compound, a sprawling, adobe-style house decorated with dream catchers, wind chimes, and faded prayer flags. The air smelled of incense and impending doom. I found them in the back, in their sacred circle under the juniper tree. They looked like a picture of bohemian bliss. Serafina, radiant and serene. Aries, holding forth with a conspiratorial glow. Lena, her eyes red-rimmed but her chin held high, sitting beside him in solidarity. They looked up as I approached. My energy was clearly not in alignment with theirs. "Marcus, darling." Serafina said, not getting up. She made a gentle, waving motion in front of her face. So much angry, stagnant energy. "Come, let us clear it. We have Palo Santo." "Where's the money, Aries?" I said, my voice a low growl. I ignored his mother completely. Aries looked up at me with an expression of pained benevolence, as if I were a confused child. "Brother, that energy has already been transformed. It's no longer money. It's the physical manifestation of a collective intention. It's become hope. It's become healing. It's become a non-refundable deposit on YURTS. I roared, losing the last vestige of my control. That was our house. Our future. You had no right. "Marcus, please," Lena pleaded, standing up. "Can't you try to see the bigger picture? This is about saving my brother's soul. This is about his purpose. His purpose is leeching off of everyone around him, and you just gave him the biggest score of his life." Serafina finally rose, a vision of maternal disappointment in a flowing caftan. "Marcus, your attachment to this material possession is a chain around your ankle, dragging you into the depths of fear." Lena acted from a place of pure, unconditional love and supreme trust in the universe. You should be kneeling at her feet in gratitude for her courage, not berating her. I stared at her, then at my wife, truly understanding for the first time that I was not speaking a language they could comprehend. Logic, reason, consequence. These were foreign concepts, low-vibrational ideas to be dismissed. Grateful? I whispered, the fight draining out of me, leaving only a vast, hollow grief. You want to be grateful that my wife stole our entire life's work and handed it to a con man because a psychic told her to? It's not stealing. Lena shouted, her defiance returning. It's our tradition. You knew. You just never believed in it. You've never believed in me. You've always looked down on my family and our beliefs. This is who I am. This is my family. If you can't accept that, then you never accepted me. The accusation hung in the dry desert air. It was a nuclear option, and she had launched it. In her mind, this wasn't about a reckless financial decision. It was a litmus test of my love for her, and I was failing. This isn't about accepting you, Lena. I said, my voice flat and broken. This is about you betraying me. You betrayed our shared dream. You unilaterally decided that your brother's latest fantasy was more important than the home we planned for 10 years. You didn't just take money. You took our trust. You took our future. I looked at her, my wife, the artist, the free spirit. I saw the woman I loved, but she was hidden behind a wall of dogma and familial pressure I could never scale. Are you coming home with me? Right now? She looked from my shattered face to the eager, expectant faces of her mother and brother. She didn't move. Her silence was her answer. She chose the cult. She chose the yurts. I see, I said. I turned and walked away. I drove back to the airport in a silent, numb trance. The vacationers in the airport, the couples holding hands, the families, they all look like artifacts from a life I used to have. That was 3 months ago. The aftermath has been a special kind of hell. Lena and I are separated. She stayed in Sedona. She's now the creative director and social media manager for the Sacred Soul Sanctuary. Her Instagram feed is a relentless barrage of inspirational quotes, filtered photos of Red Rocks, and promotional posts for a retreat that has no opening date. The GoFundMe for unexpected plumbing costs appeared last month. I am a ghost in my own life. I had to withdraw the offer on the Oregon land. The real estate agent was understanding, but I could hear the pity in her voice. I sold the blueprints to a firm in Portland for a pittance, just so I wouldn't have to look at them anymore. I'm starting over from absolute zero at 41. The psychological toll is worse than the financial one. I feel a profound sense of shame for not seeing this coming, for trusting so completely, for being such a fool. And the most exquisite torture of all, according to the narrative carefully crafted by Serafina and spread through their network, I'm the villain. I am the small-minded, controlling husband who couldn't handle his wife's spiritual independence. I abandoned her when she was following her highest path. I prioritize bricks and mortar over love and family. Mutual friends have sent me carefully worded messages, suggesting I find it in my heart to forgive and support Lena's journey. They don't know the number. They just know there was a disagreement about money. Lena has called a few times. She doesn't ask how I am. She talks about the synchronicities surrounding the retreat. She says things like, when the abundance starts flowing back, you'll understand. And the universe is testing our faith, Marcus. There is no apology. There is no recognition of the magnitude of what she's done. She is fully immersed in the fantasy, and our 10-year marriage, our dream home, our shared life, is just collateral damage on her spiritual path. I don't know if we'll divorce. The legal entanglements are daunting. The emotional ones are worse. Part of me still loves the woman I married, the one who taught me the names of wildflowers and who would drag me out into the rain to dance. But that woman is gone. She's been consumed by the vortex, both literal and metaphorical, of her family's making. So yes, my wife's harmless family tradition cost us our entire life savings. And I'm the villain for being angry. I'm left alone, sitting in my quiet, half-empty apartment. Try to draw a new blueprint for a life I never wanted, while my wife is in the desert, surrounded by her family and her unshakable faith, waiting for a return on investment that was never anything but a beautiful, devastating lie. The foundation of my life is gone, and all I have left is the dust.